What is up, guys? Welcome back to another beautiful, humid, gray, bird song backed morning here at the Mint Hill Shoe Market. And look at this, bang! We got another Max Cushion Cruiser in the house. I already told you guys, it's a cozy boy summer. Shout out to A$AP Rocky, man. I don't even know, does he even drop music anymore? He's just chilling with Rihanna. That's a good life, man. That's a good life. But regardless, we got another Max Cushion Cruiser up at the top here. These are two of my favorite Max Cushion Cruisers of the year. Both of them dropped recently and have come into the office recently. New Balance More V5 here in the middle. You got a tall stack. People are measuring this above 40 millimeters. Really tall stack of this soft, fresh foam. Very soft, very squishy. And then a little sleeper banger right here. Brooks Ghost Max 2 in the clean, all white. I could tell a lot of jokes about this one that I won't tell. But look at that colorway, man. Some guy said it was brighter than his upper thigh. So I'll leave that as the one joke we're going to do today on this colorway. But we got another Max Cushion Cruiser in the house. Very soft in the More V5. Very firm in the Ghost Max 2. Not very firm, but firmer. A nice, firmer, more structured ride. I'm hoping that this shoe right here lands somewhere in the middle and is more of that crowd-pleasing Max Cushion Cruiser. So without further ado, let us get into the Saucony Hoka. Without further ado, let us get into the Saucony Bondi. Without further ado, let us get into the Saucony. Man, it would not be a first run without the slugs out here putting in work, baby. Mint Hill Slugs getting it. Supwell Slugs. We got the Supwell Slugs merch coming soon. Don't you even worry. And by the way, if you have not ordered your Hobby Jogger hats yet, you still have a chance. There's a few slots left available for pre-order, so I'll drop that below. Slugs merch coming soon, baby. The slugs are the hardest working animals I know. Every day they come out here to the steps. They just blessing us with their work ethic. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. All right, let's get into it. All right, so I have to sit one step lower than I normally do. Also, it kind of feels like it's gonna rain, so we'll see how this plays out. Yeah, it's raining on me, so we might have to move even up more. But yeah, this is the Saucony Hurricane 24. I am not gonna go into all the shenanigan details about how Saucony may or may not have lifted, borrowed. What do they say? Imitation is the highest form of flattery. They also say if you can't beat them, join them. I'm not going to get into all that about what Saucony did with the design of the shoe. If you want to see me go on and on and on about Saucony and their position in the market in 2024 and their business strategy, go watch the Guide 17 review, okay? The thing is, Guide 17, I actually really like this shoe. It's a little bit firmer than market standard, but you get this standard EVA, you get some nice support. It's a stability shoe, so it cradles the foot and holds it in place. But a lot of the neutral shoes now, so for example, something like the New Balance More V5, this is not a traditional stability shoe, but it's wrapping the foam up the sidewalls even more than the Guide 17, which historically was a stability shoe. So that's the thing. A lot of the neutral shoes on the market, the lines are getting blended between what's a stability shoe, what's a neutral shoe, what do we classify as something with extra support versus just a shoe that anybody can run in. And it doesn't quite matter anymore. What matters is the design of the shoes and how they run. So these are two very similar shoes in design when thinking about what they did with the sidewalls and the width. But the key differences between something like the Guide 17 and the More V5 is the foam. The New Balance shoe has a much more modern foam in here. It's softer, and they also have this nice rocker up at the front, but the softness of the foam is the key quality of the shoe that just keeps me coming back for more versus the Guide 17, a lot firmer, a lot more traditional feeling. It still does have that rocker, but what they're doing with this shoe, the Hoka Hurricane 24, Saucony Hurricane 24. It's the Saucony Hurricane 24. What they're doing with this shoe, all right, they're evolving it a little bit. So you still get the nice bottom layer of the firmer foam, and then they're adding the race foam on top. It's their modern take on Max Cushion and stability. So without further ado, I'm not going to say the name again. Let's just bada bing. By the way, shout out to Running Warehouse, man. I bought this one with my own money on Running Warehouse. If you're going to buy your new shoes somewhere online, just do it through my Running Warehouse link, because then you can support the channel. You can support all the shenanigans, the clown behavior, and the tomfoolery. You can support the nonsense, stupidity, and random speculation, okay? If that's what you stand for, because that's what I stand for, then order your shoes through my Running Warehouse link. I put all of the links, I always put them down in the description, and anything you buy through that link, even if you click to the Hurricane 24 and then you end up buying an actual Hoka, like something like the Bondi 8 or the Skyflow, it will still go through. So just use my link, and then we'll be golden. All right, let's see. Bada boom. Ooh. First thing, baby, look at that gum sole. Look at that gum sole. This is a nice looking shoe. I love this colorway. So I posted on Instagram, by the way, another shameless plug. Follow the Supwell Running Instagram account. I posted a poll. I was deciding between this one, there was a white one, and then there was an olive green one, where I think that it was olive green or gray, where the top was this dark green gray. This little stripe of foam here was that same dark green gray, and then the bottom piece was white. But I think this is the cleanest one. It's giving me some royalty vibes. You know how purple is the color of royalty? This is a nice, rich, almost mauve. I said maroon, and actually, no, there's some nice purple, lavender, pink undertones. This is a sexy colorway, man. You don't often find colorways like this on the men's shoe, so shout out to Saucony. This shoe looks great. It honestly looks a lot nicer than some of the Hoka colorways. This is clean. This is understated. I got to say, they did a good job with this colorway. Shout out to Saucony, putting in the work on the colorway designs. The upper, though, this reminds me of the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. I'm a little bit worried with how narrow it looks. And the tongue looks like the Speed 4 as well. But holding this in my hands, it is max cushion, and it is... Man, so these are like the Lotto 17s, bro. It's like the Meg the Stallion 24. This is I'll let you infer. But this is, man. Let's just take a look. So the More V5 is one of the widest shoes I think we have out here. Compared to the Hurricane 24, yeah, the More V5s is still a little bit wider. But, boy, this is a wide thick shoe, especially in the midfoot. And what a lot of these brands do is they taper it. Even if we look at, can I balance? A lot of these brands taper in the middle. Oh gosh, this is hard. And I'll probably do a head-to-head between these two shoes. The Saucony is not tapering in the middle. Neither is the More V5. So on paper, these are seeming like they're going to be pretty similar shoes, even down to the rubber design on these and the layout. It is pretty similar. I think the New Balance might have a thicker layer. One of the issues I had with the guide, actually, I think I forgot to say this, but there was not that much rubber on the bottom. And even through 14 miles of running, you can see I started to rub down on that exposed foam pretty good in the forefoot. So we get a little bit more rubber coverage in the Hurricane here. It should be decently durable. And then the key is the midsole. So if you take a look at this, the top layer, hold on, I gotta take my hoodie off. It's getting hot out here. All right, top layer is the race foam. So let me see. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to see on this one because of how they've painted the foam. But both this red here, or purple, and the white are the race foam, the Power Run PB. And then the firmer foam on the bottom is just this one layer, this little tiny layer here. Let me show you. This layer here, just on the bottom, this 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, that is the firmer training foam. And now I know I'm saying race foam, but I'm telling you right now, this feels more similar as I'm pushing it in to the Power Run PB and the Triumph, which I found out was actually not all PIBA. That was not all racing foam. In the Triumph, the Power Run PB was a blend of PIBA and TPE, I believe. It was a blend of a training foam and a racing foam. Saucony still calls it Power Run PB, which drives me crazy. But pushing it in here, it is much firmer to the touch than the Power Run PB that we see in the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4 and the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. So it's a different compound. Hopefully it gives us a little more than the Triumph. And I told you guys, I'm not spotlighting bad shoes anymore. So I brought out 2 of my favorite Max Cushion shoes, and then the Guide 17, which is also solid, and the little brother of this shoe. So that's why it's out here. But the version of it, the other shoe in the Saucony lineup that you might consider, especially given the price point, this is $160, and the other shoe I'm about to mention is $160, the Saucony 22. That's the one that uses the Power Run PB. That's firmer, and I did not get along with that shoe. And some people say I'm too small for it. Who you calling too small, bro? I'm gonna dunk on you, bro. I had my dry fit socks on. I took them off. Now I'm in the features, but don't worry. Don't worry. You can get dunked on anytime, any place. I'm hoping this gives me a little bit more than the Triumph. The foam there, just the midsole didn't come together well. I also didn't like the look of it. It looked like there was too much padding. This one seems a little bit more cohesive. Also, look at that 6mm drop. It says right in the middle. That is nice. The Triumph was a 10mm drop. I just did not get along with that either. So far on paper, this seems like it's going to be a little bit better of a ride. Hopefully we get some more bounce out of this Power Run PB. That's the number one thing that I'm worried about. I'm sure it's going to be a comfortable shoe on step in. I'm sure it's going to be great for walking. The main question is, how is it going to do for running, especially compared to these two great shoes that we brought in recently, the More V5 and the Ghost Max 2. So with that, guys, let's pop this on the scale, see where it comes in. It's looking like we got to bring out the scale we used to weigh the whales with. And I got to get some new scale bars. Probably should go back and listen to some Pusha T so I can get some more lines to drop out here about scales. All right, let's do the weigh-in. All right, let's take out this little... I'm actually curious. How much do you think this little insert weighs? 30? I'm going to say between 20 and 30. Oh, look at that. Pretty close. 33.7. All right. Let's weigh the actual shoe. Now, I guess for the shoe, I think this is going to be the heaviest shoe of 2024. I think this is going to come in close to 350. Let's see. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Hoka. Yep. 340 grams. That now takes the title for heaviest shoe of 2024. The More V5 is also up there, and actually the More V5 weighed in above 350 after I ran in it. So we'll see, and it was a little bit wet still. So it's not completely dry. We'll see where it weighs in. So the reason you're getting so much weight on this, yes, you get the padding in the upper, but this foam is going to be pretty dense, so it should give us a lot of protection. And that's why Saucony designed, or that's the whole point of this shoe, right? It's protection and comfort. I've heard a few bigger runners say they absolutely love this thing, so weight isn't always bad. I need to emphasize this pretty much every time I do this now, because if I don't, some complete donkey from the peanut gallery is going to say, bro, the weight of the shoe doesn't matter. I invented weight of it. I'm just kidding. But come on, guys. Come on. And I just need just caveat after caveat. I don't even know what kind of accent that was. But Guide 17, this is coming in around 300 grams. So this is almost, if you take a look at these two side by side, this is almost the daily trainer version, whereas the Hurricane 24 is the max cushion amped up version. So $140 in the Guide, $160 in the Hurricane. You get a little bit more of an elevated foam experience in the Hurricane with the Power Run PB. Hopefully it's a little bit softer. You get more cushion. You get more padding on the upper. Everything is just amped up a little bit, but 6mm drop in the Hurricane, 6mm drop in the Guide. And just in terms of the shoe, it actually, I enjoyed it. If you like that more simple, streamlined, stable, smooth, but firmer ride, I think you'll like the Guide. It's a solid shoe for sure. All right, next up, More V5. Boom. 338.5. So yeah, now that it's dry, it is up there with the Saucony Hurricane. But again, that doesn't mean it's a bad shoe. You get more cushion, you get more support, you get more comfort, you get more bounce. And I was throwing down 620 pace to miles in this guy at 340 grams. This heaviest shoe at the time. Now the Hurricane's a little heavier, but man, I was throwing down 620 pace in this. So it's not always a bad thing, and it's not going to mean you can only run slow in the shoe, especially with these wild rocker geometries and bouncy foams that brands are putting on these shoes. And then last year, let's take a look at the Ghost Max 2, a nice, robust, structured, little bit firmer option that's going to give you some nice bounce. This guy's coming in at 327 grams, so up there as well. A lot of my favorite max cushion shoes are on the heavier side, but that's because the protection, man. You got to have a denser foam for more protection. If you want a lightweight shoe, the Rebel V4, that's going to come in 100 grams lighter than this, but the protection on that is a lot less, right? And man, look at this. With this all white colorway, I feel like you should just go black liner or dark liner inside the shoe. Back of the shoe out here looking like a poop stain, bro. All right, let's throw the other shoe on, QA check on the scale, and then we can do a little fit and feel. Bro said I was out of pocket in the Guide 17 video. Hopefully I'm in pocket in this one. Ooh, gosh, man, Saucony, you're killing me, man. 332 on the left side. Now, I did my whole analysis about the heaviest shoe, and now they're averaging out to be not the heaviest shoe. But 332 on the left, 340 on the right. Again, I'll give my little caveat. Is it going to make a difference for the ride experience? No. The reason we weigh both, you guys already know if you watch the channel. To see if these brands are putting out products that weigh the same, because if they're not, what else is going on? What else is going on at Saucony that we need to be concerned about, man? 8-gram difference? Again, that's only a 2% difference, but what else is 2% different, huh? You want someone to be 98%? No, you want them to keep it 100. So that's the thing, man. QA check, not great. Let's see. Okay, let's pop on just so you can see. Brooks Ghost Max 2, 330, 331 on one side, 327 on the other side. So not great, but only a 4-gram difference. So Brooks is usually actually pretty good. Let's see. New Balance, one side, 339.5, and then other side, 339. So that's pretty good. So it varies, but I like to keep these brands accountable, man. Keep them accountable. Let's do a little lace-up fit and feel. All right, what do you think? Boom. Ah, gosh. 20 back Suburbans, we pull up by Sunday service. Wonder what Charlie's gonna say about my lotto bars. Pray for me. Alright, lacing up the, not gonna say it, 24s. R.I.P. Kobe. Woo, baby. Alright, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Step in. Man, step in is awesome. Okay. There's some shoes where you get all hyped up and then you step into them. A lot of the race shoes especially, because they're not the most comfortable. You're so excited and you put it on, you're like, ugh. That's not the case here, man. This is a very comfortable step in. They must have used a nice soft insole. Yeah, I can feel the insole. I wonder if it's Power Run Plus, the old Triumph foam in here. It's making it soft. Also, look at this. Come on. This is what I'm saying, guys, about the QA check. Look at that paint job right there. Look at that. At least they're selling this for 160, not 180. So you can expect some variation, but there's just some shoddy craftsman. Where is this made? Vietnam, I'm guessing? No, made in China. See, that's the thing. Vietnam is now eating China's lunch. Maybe this should have been made in Vietnam. Better craftsmanship. That's what I always say. All the best factories are in Vietnam. What about the Guide? Let's see. Ooh, the Guide was made in Indonesia. That's zesty. That's spicy. Indonesian footwear. I didn't even know they had factories out there. All right. So let's do a little bit of a fit and feel. Guide 17 versus the Hurricane. And right on step-in of these, so they have a similar little rolling feel, but the heel of the Guide 17, oh, gosh, mosquito, I just got it. The heel of the Guide 17 feels firmer, and the shoe also feels a lot lower to the ground and a little bit narrower, especially in the forefoot. Let's do a walk test. Hurricane versus Guide. Yeah, this is max cushion versus regular cushion. So it almost feels like the rocker of the Guide is a little bit more prominent, like it's tipping me along more. But the Hoka cane is way softer. Yeah, especially in the heel area. Man, that is nice. And one thing that I wanted to show you on the Saucony here, the Hurricane 24 is they do push, look at this, they push the race foam all the way through to the bottom. So this white piece on the bottom, you can see that's the race foam. So they really just have a frame of the firmer standard training foam. You can see on this side it goes up probably about an inch, so it's the frame on the inside, on the outside, and then on the bottom it goes around like an oval, and then the entire middle is exposed, so you have the race foam poking through, or the training variant. And man, it's definitely a firmer version of that Power Run PP. But let's do a little jog test. It's actually starting to rain on me, so we'll get a grip test out here. The Saucony grip has not been that great, but let's do a little jog test. Jog test between these two shoes. Oh man, even just walking down to the street here, the Hoka cane is so comfortable, but the foam, but it has that narrowness. I can feel that rubbing and that, what is it called? Just this, like the stinging on the outside of my foot from how tight this upper is. We'll see what happens when I start running, but definitely a snugger fit. And the upper of the Guide, one of the best training uppers of the year, way lighter weight. So that's going to be a key difference between these two. Everything about the Guide 17 feels lighter weight. The Hoka cane feels a little bit more built up, more structured. Probably going to be a bit warmer. So we'll see how that fares today. But all right, let's get into this. This jog test is brought to you by hobbyjogger.com. Today's jog test features the Saucony Guide 17 going head to head with the newest max cushion cruiser to hit the market, the Saucony Hurricane 24. Man, it's not even close. It's not even close. This thing is so much softer, so much more comfortable. One of the most comfortable shoes I've put on this year, and also one of the best colorways. Saucony might have a hit with this thing, man. I think this might be a banger. Compared to the Guide, man, compared to the Guide feels stiff, harsh, firm, low, flat, dull, and I liked this 2 days ago. I thought it was a solid workhorse, but if you compare it to this for $20 more, man, this feels so much softer, so much more exciting, so much more comfortable. The one concern I have though is the weight. This does feel like a lot of bulk, and it does feel heavy, even though the foam is so comfortable. This is kind of what I expected from the Triumph, just on this little jog test here. So it's now starting to rain. So I think my plan for this run is, and bro, look at this. This is what happens when you just stay locked in, grinding. I haven't gotten a lineup since my marathon in April, bro. It's probably why I haven't been invited to any cookouts recently. Just look out here looking like... This is what happens when you stay in the office putting in work. But all right, so we're gonna do 12 miles this morning in... It's hard for me not to say the thing. Saucony Hurricane. In the Saucony Hurricane 24, 12 miles, nice and smooth, nice and relaxed. We'll see, can this go the distance? Because I know it's gonna be comfortable, but this is gonna put us between 90 minutes and 2 hours. So how is it gonna hold up with the weight for that distance? Let's go up there, relace these because it's starting to come down here, and let's get into it. So one of the issues that, and man, look at that gum sole. This shoe is fire. So far, why am I taking off the Hoka cane? I need to take off the guide. Sorry. All right. Yeah, one of the issues people have with Hoka is their foams. One of the issues is, man, I got to work on my subject-verb agreement. But yeah, one of the issues is the foams are outdated. Hoka's still using the compression molded EVA, and that is the case in the guide here. This is an outdated, more traditional foam, but that's not the case in the Hurricane, and that's why Saucony introduced the Hurricane. It's to bring a more modern take. It's to bring something new and fresh to the line and to that Bondi competitor segment, because the Bondi, a lot of people who are putting in the miles, and it's a comfortable shoe, I've heard. I haven't tried it myself, but a lot of people who are putting in the miles and transitioning from run, walk, or just walking to running find it a little bit clunky, a little bit heavy, not that exciting to run in, and that they're just better options out there. And so that's why Saucony is coming out with the Hurricane here, introducing some new foam, some race foam, into a category that's been a little bit stagnant. Now we have other options like the Gel Nimbus, the 1080, the More V5, but Saucony is clearly going directly at the Bondi with this thing. I mean, come on. I know we had people all up in arms, but come on. I was actually going to go to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy a pair of Bondi so I could do the comparison, but I haven't left my house in 4 days because I just work, I run, I go on Zoom calls, and I edit videos. That's what I do. So we don't have any Bondi in here, but come on, look at this. Look at this. I'll throw up a picture of the Bondi, and then we're not going to talk about this anymore, all right? Let's get it. Let's do this run. 12 miles, baby. Let's go. Wow, this is just so comfortable. It reminds me of my first experience with the Nimbus 25. Not that it necessarily feels like the Nimbus, but at the time, when I first tried the Nimbus, I didn't love max cushion shoes, and that was the first tall stacked shoe that I fell in love with. I kind of soured on it as we got closer to 300 miles, but the initial experience was great. And that's a similar thing I'm having with this one, man. The step-in is so comfortable. And I think if Saucony is going for that Hoka market where the Bondi gets a lot of sales from in-store, right? People go into the store, they try it on, it feels great. This is gonna feel awesome on step-in. It is just so soft and comfortable. And I am surprised a little bit at how soft it feels, because the Triumph didn't feel the softest to me. So I'm wondering if they're using even a different version of the Power Run PB in here. But boy, this is not a brick. Early overreaction, this is a banger. Absolute heater. 107 mile per hour fastball. Cozy boy summer to the max. And I'm not sure if I ever finished my thought from earlier, but I asked you guys to vote on the colorway, and this is the one you picked on IG. So hopefully it doesn't get wrecked out here, but the vibes are good, the colorway is good, and it's really comfortable. The 6mm drop is perfect.
but heavy. It is a heavy shoe. It is not a light on foot shoe. So that's my biggest concern. Also this grip. And I'm glad it's raining today because the Saucony shoes, the grip has been really mixed for me. So goal for this run here is just mileage, accumulate some time on feet, enjoy a nice mild summer morning, and test the Hurricane. Running in the storms, in the hurricanes. Storms coming with this one. So yeah, legs are feeling a little bit tired today. It's a little leg check on the straightaway, but that's good. That's what this shoe is designed for. I'll tell you right now, this is not a speed shoe. But man, this is a great shoe so far. Let's just stay tuned on how the grip and how the weight do throughout the course of the run. Pop this thing back on when we got more insights or shenanigans or random speculation. All right, it is 45 seconds later and I do have more insights. The rubbing is a big issue for me so far. It is not, that's the key downside of the shoe. My left foot is a little bit wider, and on a lot of Saucony shoes I get rubbing. I didn't actually get it in the guide, but I am getting it in this one. And there's really no other brands where this is a big issue. I'm trying to think. There might have been a few other shoes this year, but it's typically the Saucony shoes that do it to me. So hopefully it, I don't know, breaks in or stretches, but so far narrow in the toe box for sure. Lengthwise, the fit is fine though. All right, we just hit mile 1 and I was expecting this to be firmer, and I'm a little bit surprised at how soft it is, and it's actually making me wonder if bottoming out is a concern. And from everything I've heard about this shoe, I've had a few bigger runners tell me this is one of their favorite shoes right now. I'm wondering if you are a bigger runner and you're going 2+ hours, how this is gonna hold up, because it is very soft. A lot softer than I expected, so that's a good thing. We'll just keep an eye on that. A little bit of a surprising twist here. But man, the comfort here is top notch. One of the most comfortable shoes I've tried this year. Hoka didn't see this storm coming. I bet there's some fire stuff at that estate sale, but it always freaks me out a little bit. Estate sale. You guys know what that is? I'm sure a lot of you do, but for a younger audience here, I sound so condescending saying that. For a younger audience here, estate sale is when somebody dies and then their family and friends sell all their stuff. It just kind of freaks me out a little bit, just buying a dead person's stuff. I'm sorry to say it like that, it's kind of macabre. Is that how you pronounce that word? Morbid. Mile 2, 8 flat, cruising out recovery. Yeah, it's just kind of creepy, man. And the other thing is, we bought our house was essentially an estate sale, because we bought it from this dude whose wife died. I'm sorry to keep saying the D word, it's kind of a bummer, but it's inevitable. Putting up big mileage and death, those are the two things. Two things you can't avoid. Death, taxes, and me dropping a video every day getting after him. And the Saucony Hurricane 24. I don't know, man. I guess it's the circle of life. And it's better to buy some of these used things versus just new. That's the one issue I have with testing these new shoes all the time. I'm just creating a lot of waste, but I'm working on something. I'm working on something to alleviate that burden. So hopefully get some of these used shoes to some other folks. Stay tuned. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. I say it pretty much every week when I try one of these shoes. Dual foam is undefeated. Putting the 2 foams in the midsole. Man, I have not tried a bad dual foam shoe. The softer foam in here, and I'm wondering if Saucony was able to just tune this a little bit softer than the Triumph because of that firmer cradle. This is a complete banger because of that. It's a comfort banger. Dual foam, it's undefeated. It reminds me of the Super Blast. Not necessarily the ride experience, but the implementation, the way that they did the dual foam. Thick layer of race foam at the top. That will give the shoe its main character. And then just a little pancake on the bottom. So it's like an avocado toast, right? Avocado toast bottom. I don't know, is that a bad example? It's like an open-faced flatbread with a tortilla. Just a tortilla of firmer ethylene vinyl acetate on the bottom. All right, we are going downhill in the slick here, a little grip test. And it's okay. Not Adidas or Puma level, but I also don't think it's as bad as the Nova Blast 4 or even the Endorphin Elite, which was horrible. So average grip. All my lads and blokes out there, for some reason I think British people think it only rains in the UK. Bro, it rains everywhere. I can't run in that shoe because it rains here. Bro, it rains in North Carolina too. I love you guys. Yeah, grip is average. Yeah, I'm actually gonna revise that to slightly below average. I am slipping a little bit. That's an area of improvement across the Saucony line for sure. The Speed 4 and Pro 4 fixed it with the cross hatch pattern on the outsole. So maybe they could just apply that across the rest of the line too. And by the way, people who live in Seattle, in the Pac Northwest, PNW, bro, PDX, airport. Yeah, all my Portlandians and Seattleites, you guys gotta cool it with the rain talk too. It actually rains almost just as much in Charlotte as Seattle. People get such a sense of identity about the rain. Oh, I was forged by the rain. Chill out, man, chill out. My Seattleites, take a trip to the Needle and relax. Talking about rain. You don't have a claim to rain. Nobody owns the rain. We might need to downgrade this grip to pretty bad. I don't know where it falls on the terrible to pretty bad to okay to average, but it is not good. Grip on the shoe, not good. Weak point for sure. By the way, Americans, we got a lot of issues too. I'm not gonna get into that. Don't think I'm just coming at the blokes out there. All my gun toting, whiskey sipping, dip spitting Americans, we got some problems too. I don't need to get into all that. Yeah. Out here with multiple octogenarians trying to run the country. Let me tell you the issue with America. Let's get into it. The issue with America is that the people who are running the country live in two places. They call them the coastal elite, right? And they have no idea how the rest of the country thinks, behaves, what they believe, what they care about. That's why I love living in the burbs. This is where the people live. And so, man, let me just tell you right now, November is probably going to be the biggest landslide in modern history. I'm not going to say which way, but it's not gonna be pretty. Yeah, I feel like I'm about to fall down a landslide with how bad the grip is on these shoes. So far we just hit 5 miles. This is a great shoe. It just has the typical Saucony issues, which is a little bit of a narrower toe box. And then in 2024, the grip has become an issue as well. But other than that, comfort is great. It's soft, it's bouncy, it's smooth. Probably, yeah, top 3 best max cushion shoes of the year is right up there so far. But I'm gonna bust down the rest of this run and then see you when I see you. Oh, the rain is coming down now, baby. Let's go. Some good old American rain right here. Mile 6, nice 7:51 pace. Second Amendment, baby, the right to run some hills. Let's go. Make America elevate again, baby. When the last time you think Mitch McConnell bust down a little 400-meter hill repeat? Man, when you think the last time Nancy Pelosi was putting in the work, grinding out a little rainy 12-piece? And get some good hills out in San Francisco, too. It's such a shame she's not just getting after it. How many sitting US senators you think could finish a marathon in under 7 hours? That's a serious question. 7 hours. I'll give them 7 hours. How many sitting US senators could do that? There's 100. I'm putting the over under at 24.5, and I'm banging the under on that one. Out there trying to stop Bills from getting past. Gotta run some hills and give it gas, baby. Bro, tell Robert Menendez to stop scamming and start slamming some mileage. Boy would have been in a much better place. He's just putting some miles up instead of scamming. Man, these big wig politicians in Washington, D.C. so worried about reaching across the aisle. I gotta teach them to up their miles. Yeah, this is why I don't have a big Instagram presence. This right here. Go follow Sup while running the. Here, I'll put it on right there. Man, these politicians, they keep talking about the UN. The UN. Same 2 letters and over again. And you start worrying about their PRs, bro. Those are the only 2 letters I care about. Man, these big city politicians in their Cadillacs and Lincolns eating tea and crumpets keep talking about sending my tax paying dollars for aid in the Ukraine. They need to be worried about what kind of gels they're serving at the aid station. That's the type of aid I'm talking about. Give me some Morton. Man, these other boys just mad because I put up 416 miles in 1 week. All right, back to making fun of British people. So here's the thing about the bad grip. No matter how bad a shoe's grip is, I've never slipped, knock on wood. Maybe I'll slip down this hill, but this shoe has bad grip and it's still fine. Still fine. So I don't know what all my UK friends are complaining about. It's not that bad. Unless your streets are just infested with mud. I don't know. It's not great. And the Nova Blast 4 was pretty bad. But for the most part, I can run in anything in the rain. Other than the Endorphin Elite in Nova Blast 4. I know I'm always out here talking about who's putting in more miles, who's putting in more work. The real question is, who's having more fun? Who's having more fun than us, guys? We're just having fun with it on this channel. You can't cancel me. You can't cancel me. Whew, that was a wet one. 12 miles is a wet one. All right, 12 miles, 8:01 pace. I need to use the bathroom, so I'll make this quick. But man, this is a bipartisan banger. We got the Democratic Power Run PB on the top, the Republican Power Run on the bottom. Boom. It's a great combination. All right, I'm gonna run into the bathroom, and then we can get this. Maybe I'll change my shorts because it's so wet, and then we can get this breakdown. Whew. Alright, I had to do the full outfit change. I have the towel on and everything. I didn't shower yet, but look at this. Can you hear that? It's disgusting. It is absolutely soaked. We'll see if we can dry these out. These are the John G 5-inchers, though. Shout out to these. They're pretty solid. I also really like the patterns on these. Alright, let's throw this before we do the breakdown. Let's see how much water we picked up. I did this with the Triumph, and it picked up, I don't know, above 30 grams. So this one measured in at 340. Oh, let's check the right shoe because the right shoe is already heavier at 340. My guess is this is going to be close to 370, if not above that. This might, honestly, this might be up at 400. This feels so heavy. Woo! Can you guys see that? Holy cow, 396. Yeah, this picked up 56 grams of water. Holy cow. But this is a great reminder about why weight is not everything. Because it still felt fun. It still felt peppy. It still felt soft and bouncy towards the end of that run. Running a 400 gram chonky bipartisan banger of a shoe. All right, let's go do this breakdown. Thing is, guys, you gotta remember, we still need to hydrate even though it's rainy. Ugh, that's the unflavored Element. Charlie tasted it. She said it's like dirty water. The Element is the salty one, and it's nice in the flavor, the raspberry salt and the watermelon salt. This one is just disgusting. This just tastes like ocean water. It's gross. So I've got to get some plain water. Man, unflavored Element, that is not Softwell certified. But let's get this breakdown in. So what do we get? 12 miles this morning in the Saucony Hurricane 24, an absolute banger of a shoe. Yes, it's heavy. Yes, I can barely hold it in my hands here. Look how wide it is. It's heavy, it's wide, it's got a lot of bulk, but this is up there in the conversation for maybe most comfortable shoe I've run in this year. This and the New Balance More V5. You get a lot of protection out of this, you get a lot of support, and that wide base is going to give you some stability. So this is actually positioned by Saucony as kind of a stability shoe. For me, I don't know, a lot of these shoes have wider bases, but it does have elements in it that make it very stable. But the important part of the conversation is you get a lot of support and you get a lot of protection. So if we look at the forefoot here, you get a ton of this Power Run PB, this race foam, and I don't know what the difference is between this and the Power MPB and the Saucony Triumph 22, but this is so much softer, so much bouncier, and so much more exciting to run in, paired with the 6mm drop up in the forefoot. It just makes it a really smooth, comfortable ride. So Saucony knocked it out of the park with this one. The guide was a good shoe. It was a solid shoe, but firm, not a modern foam. And I said, the EVA, Saucony is keeping the standard EVA alive, hanging on to it with the Guide 17. This takes wide stability into a completely different direction and might be the best stability shoe, at least max cushion stable shoe that I've run this year. This and the More V5. That is going to be a titanic head-to-head. Stay tuned for that one, because those are two great shoes. So good qualities of this shoe. It's fun, it's comfortable, it's bouncy, it's soft, it's smooth, and it did not bottom out. That was what I was concerned about. We got, what was it? My watch was clear, but I think 1 hour, close to an hour 40, and it didn't feel like the forefoot was getting too flat. And by the way, it also looks so good. I mean, look at this colorway. This might be the best colorway of the year. And I know I was giving Saucony I was ribbing them, and this looks like it's got some ribs on here. I was ribbing them for copying Hoka and trying to become a lifestyle brand, but this is the exact type of product Saucony needs if they want to become a lifestyle banger brand. This is a shoe that's going to be awesome for running, awesome for lifestyle, awesome for mall cruising. It's like the Jeep Wrangler, the Land Rover Defender. Yes, you can run in it. Yes, you can take it off-road, but I'm sure people are going to love it for going to Target, for going to Whole Foods. Those are the vibes I'm getting from this thing, and it looks amazing. This looks probably better than the Bondi, at least in this colorway. So Saucony absolutely crushed it with this shoe right here. And it's just making me wonder, why don't they take the rest of the line in this direction? Make the Speed 4 a little bit wider. Use whatever foam this is in the Speed 4. That would be a much better shoe. Strip this down, streamline it, put the plastic plate in it, make that the Speed 5. Take this foam, take some version of the shoe, make it the Triumph. If you lightened this up, you made it a little bit less wide, just what would you call it, even a Hurricane Light? That's what the Triumph should be, and drop the price of the Triumph down to $150. There's so many good elements of this shoe that I hope we start to see across the Saucony line. Take this foam, for example, take this foam, the Power MPB, put it in the Saucony Ride. Make that a 6mm drop shoe. Keep you can keep the upper, or maybe change the upper a little bit to make it more comfortable. Put the Guide upper on this foam with the same geometry as the Ride. Make that the Ride 18. Banger. So many good elements of the shoe that are just making me question what happened with the rest of the Saucony lineup this year. This and the Endorphin Pro 4, man, that would be a great rotation. You get this shoe, you get the Endorphin Pro 4, maybe you get the Adizero SL2. That is a sick rotation right there. So this is one of the best shoes I've tested this year. If I tested this before the 10 best list I did, this might be going on the list. This is in the conversation for best max cushion shoe. And I do care about the looks and the design. I know I'm mostly a performance-oriented reviewer. That's why I'm banging out 12 milers on a random Thursday. Who else you know is doing that? Plus dropping the lotto references. Bang! Theuk. The thing is, why don't you make the rest of your line like this, Saucony? So great job here. Few downsides of the shoe. It still does have that narrowness. I do think it's gonna widen out a little bit. The upper will break in, because by the end of the run, I didn't feel too much of that rubbing. I didn't feel too much of an issue. And then the bottom of the shoe, the rubber, and man, I love a good gum sole. Look at this. This gum sole is fire. But besides the way that it looks, it performed okay. So that's gonna be a downside of this shoe as well. If you live out in the UK and you can only run in Vibram or Continental or Puma, this is not gonna be the shoe for you. You're gonna be missing out on this bipartisan banger. But if you live in America, this is gonna be a great shoe, and the grip should be okay. I wasn't slipping. Again, I rarely slip on the hills or even on anything, so you should be fine with the grip. It's just not as good as some other shoes. Now, who is not gonna love the shoe if you don't like bulkier shoes, if you don't like max cushion, if you don't like soft shoes, this is not gonna be for you. It is a soft shoe, probably not as soft as the More V5. I'm gonna need to do a head-to-head to see. I think it's close, but very soft shoe, and it does have that classic Power MPB feel where you sink down into it before you bounce out, which is awesome. So I do think they changed it from the race foam version, the Endorphin Pro 4, but they did not ruin it like they did in the Triumph.
Whew. I'm tired. We hit 12 miles. We hit shenanigans level 7,000. We went on a political satire diversion. I don't know if there's much else to say about this shoe. It's soft, it's bouncy, it's fun, it's heavy, it's comfortable. It's a great shoe. I also think this is going to be a great walking shoe, a great casual shoe. This colorway is complete heat. So yeah, if I missed anything, let me know. We'll do some more comparisons. This is probably going to go to the 100-mile club this year because it is such a good shoe. I don't think this is going to be a long run shoe because of the heaviness. I don't think this is going to be a speed or an interval shoe, but for recovery runs, for relaxed mileage, for bigger runners who need more support, or for anybody who just wants a fun, soft, comfortable ride, boom, absolute banger. Stay tuned for the comparison to the More V5 coming soon. As always, guys, thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with another video.